Hello, you guys. Welcome to the cast for my first ever Legacy Challenge. I am so excited for this Legacy Challenge. I have never played any kind of Legacy Challenge, but I think that's my favorite kind of gameplay without even realizing it. I love a family tree. I love a lineage. I love carrying out a legacy through generations, but sticking to tasks and goals is never something I have done in my time playing The Sims. But today, that is what we are doing. So we are starting with our sim, London. She is the person who is starting this challenge, her and her daughter, who will be the heir to the next generation. So this is London, and her daughter's name is Meredith. So we're starting by creating them, but also Meredith's dad, Sean. I am in love with these Sims. London and Meredith are just stunning, gorgeous, amazing, beautiful, etc. When making Meredith, I did age her up to a teen and just tweak her genetics slightly, and then age her back down to a child, which is the age she will be starting at. But anyways, these Sims are for the Keepsake Legacy. I am so excited. I will link all the information for this Legacy Challenge down below. But this Legacy Challenge is 5 generations and all about family, creating a family that feels real, alive through each and every generation, and it focuses on these small, wholesome moments of family traditions, growing up, getting older, people dying, people being born, and I am obsessed with that. On the docs, it literally says this challenge is meant to feel like a cozy family TV series, cozy Sunday mornings, emotional milestones, grandparents spoiling grandchildren, realistic family struggles and joys, tiny moments that become lifelong memories, teenagers growing into adults, revisiting back home for the holidays, passing down heirlooms, recipes, homes, hobbies, and values. Are you kidding me? That sounds like me in a nutshell. Family gameplay is at my core my most favorite and beloved type of gameplay. I'm playing with my other sim, Anita, on the channel, and I think she'll have a family someday, but it's just not happening yet. Therefore, I am ready to play this legacy and have family and have messiness and real raw family life. Besides these 3 main Sims, we're also creating Sean's parents and London's parents and sister. So you might be able to tell once we get to them, but Sean's parents are very wealthy, put together. They care about appearances and looks. And London's parents are well off, but they are just not like that fancy, elegant lifestyle that Sean's parents would be. And I wouldn't say he really followed in those footsteps much at all, because he is obviously family inheritance wealthy, but he isn't like wearing a suit on his day-to-day. But Sean and London are both young adults, and their daughter Meredith is a child and lives with London, and Sean lives back in San Sequoia, where both of their families live. They're both born and raised in San Sequoia, but the 2 girls moved out to the city for many, many, many different reasons. I have this huge long note with the story I have written up for this family, so I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as I can. So let's begin. From the outside, her life looked perfect. She lived in a beautiful house with a beautiful family. The lawn was always maintained. Holidays looked picture perfect in photographs, and everyone assumed looking in, this was the life and dream any girl could ever want. But behind closed doors, things were different. Her family wasn't cruel, but they weren't close. Conversations stayed on the surface. Emotions were left unspoken. There were few traditions, few moments spent gathered around the table, and little of the warmth she secretly envied when she visited friends' homes. This house was beautiful, but never truly felt like a home. As a little girl, she imagined a different future for herself. She dreamed of becoming an art teacher one day, filling classrooms with color, creativity, and encouragement. She imagined walls covered in children's paintings, afternoons spent helping students discover their talents, and a life surrounded by imagination and joy. More than that, she dreamed of a family. Not a perfect family, but a close one. She dreamed of warm meals shared around the kitchen table, birthday parties overflowing with laughter, holiday decorations pulled out yearly, music playing softly while the children worked on homework nearby, and the comfort of knowing someone would always be waiting for her at home. London dreamt of that kind of everyday love that couldn't be captured in a photograph. Then she met him. Unlike anyone else, he saw beyond appearances. He didn't see a girl who came from a difficult family dynamic. He didn't see someone who wasn't popular or wealthy or impressive. He saw her. He saw the aspiring art teacher who carried her sketchbooks everywhere she went. He saw the way her face lit up when she talked about children, creativity, and the future she hoped to build. He saw her kindness, her resilience, and the deep longing she carried to create a home filled with love. And for the first time, she felt understood. He came from a world completely different than hers. His family had money, influence, and a reputation they guarded fiercely. Their lives were built around expectation and appearances, and they had carefully planned the future they had envisioned for their only son. From the moment they met her, they disapproved. To them, she wasn't the right match. She didn't come from the right circles. She didn't have the same opportunities or social standing. But no matter how much their son cared for her, they couldn't understand what he saw. But he never cared about any of that. Together, they dreamed of a future that felt simple and beautiful. A small house, a family, a life built around love, not status. Then, while they were in high school, everything changed. She became pregnant. The news sent shockwaves through both families at home. Years of distance and unresolved tension erupted into conflict. Hurt, fear, and disappointment consumed the household. The beautiful home she had grown up in no longer felt like a place she could stay. Eventually, she was told to leave. Overnight, she went from living in a comfortable house to having nowhere to call home. Pregnant, scared, and still a teenager herself, she was forced to navigate a future she had never imagined. At the same time, his family reacted with outrage. To them, the pregnancy represented everything they had feared. They believed their son's future was being thrown away. Determined to regain control of the situation, they pressured him relentlessly. They reminded him of his responsibilities, his opportunities, the life they had planned for him. The pressure became inescapable, and eventually they felt forced apart. And it wasn't because they stopped loving each other. It wasn't because their dreams of that family and home had changed. It was because they were young, overwhelmed, and caught between families who couldn't see past crisis unfolding around them. For a time, it seemed as though everything she had hoped for was gone. But then her daughter was born, and little by little, hearts began to soften. Her parents met their granddaughter and saw something they hadn't expected, a chance to rebuild what had been broken. Conversations slowly returned, visits became more frequent. The relationship with her parents, once strained beyond repair, began healing one step at a time, and her sister could finally see each other again. His family changed as well. Though many of their opinions have remained, they couldn't deny the love they felt for their granddaughter. What began as reluctant involvement slowly became a place in her life. They may never fully approve of the circumstances, but they show up for the little girl who connected them all. Years later, life still isn't easy. She and her daughter, now in middle school, live in a different city, far from the place where everything happened. Their apartment is small, the paint peels in places, the walls creak. Some months are harder than others, and there are nights where she lies awake, wondering what the future holds for them. But given the chance, she wouldn't change a thing, because when she looks around, she realizes she's living the life she once dreamed about. The kitchen is the heart of her home. Sunday mornings smell like pancakes. Children's artwork covers the refrigerator and hangs proudly on the walls. Birthdays are celebrated loudly. Holidays are cherished. Traditions are made and remade year after year. Sure, the apartment may be small, but it's overflowing with creativity, laughter, and love. Everything she spent her childhood longing for became something she built with her own two hands. Not a perfect life, not an easy life, but a beautiful one. The future remains uncertain. There are still dreams tucked away in her heart, dreams of stability, a place to truly call her own, and a family that feels complete. Sometimes she imagines what it would be like for her daughter to have a father beside her at the dinner table, someone to help with homework, cheer her on from the sidelines, and share those ordinary moments that make up a life. Maybe that future is still waiting for them. Maybe it isn't. But for now, when she hears her daughter's laughter echo through the apartments and sees the life they've created together, she knows she's already found something. That home filled with love that she spent her childhood dreaming for. Oof, that was long, but that is their story. Of course, in the first part, as well as the apartment renovation, there will be a bit more details about each character and dynamics and such, but really where they're at right now is a clean slate. Will London end up with Sean? I don't know, but I am so excited to see where these two go. I cannot wait. I do know London will get married sometime and probably have more children, but whether it is with Sean or somebody else is still completely up in the air, and I really do want to go off of my Sims whims and not be overly controlling of it. But you guys, that is my little creative sim. I am so excited and I hope you are too, and I will see you in my next video.